Taurus, the next 7 years, growing your big wealth. Have you ever wondered, my beautiful Taurus souls, what's waiting for you in the next 7 years? A time when the life you thought was so steady and predictable suddenly cracks open to reveal doors you never dared to dream of? I'm telling you right now, the universe has something extraordinary in store for you. And it's closer than you think. Hey there, I'm Sophia, your guide and friend here at ZodiacWisdom. Welcome to this sacred space where we dive deep into the mysteries of the stars and unlock the power within you. If this resonates with you, and I have a feeling it will, please hit that like button. Share this with someone you love. And subscribe so we can walk this journey together. You're not just a viewer here, you're part of our family. Today, I'm so excited to share with you what the next 7 years hold for Taurus. A transformative ride through 3 incredible phases that will redefine who you are and what you're capable of. We're talking about breaking old foundations, waking up to your true potential, and building a life that's as unshakable as your Taurus spirit. Don't look away, because I promise you, stay with me until the end, and what you're about to discover might just change the way you see yourself forever. It's going to be inspiring, it's going to be real, and it's going to light a fire in your soul. So, what are we waiting for? Let's dive in. Your destiny is calling. And hey, if there's a moment, a line, or a piece of wisdom that hits home for you, drop it in the comments below. I can't wait to hear what's stirring in your heart. Chapter 1. Breaking the Old Foundations, Years 1 to 2. Oh, Taurus, my steadfast, grounded friends, if there's one thing I know about you, it's that you love stability. You're the rock in everyone's storm. The one who builds a life so solid it feels like it could stand forever. But what if I told you that over the next 2 years, the universe is going to shake things up? Not to scare you, but to set you free. This first phase, years 1 and 2, is all about breaking the old foundations. It's about letting go of what's no longer serving your highest purpose so you can step into the life you were truly meant to live. Now, I get it, change isn't your favorite word. You're the queen of routine, of comfort, of knowing exactly what tomorrow holds. But here's the truth, some of those things you've been holding onto, maybe a job that's lost its spark, relationships that drain more than they give, or even a mindset that keeps you playing small, they're starting to crack. And that's not a bad thing. Taurus, it's the universe clearing the way for something greater. Over these first 2 years, expect the things that don't align with your soul's deepest calling to crumble. It might feel like chaos at first, but trust me, it's a beautiful unraveling. Let me tell you about Linda, a Taurus woman I worked with a couple of years back. She was 45, a devoted mom and homemaker who'd spent 2 decades pouring her heart into her family. She'd taken a part-time job at a local store just to keep busy. But deep down, she felt stuck. She'd say to me, "Sophia, I don't know who I am outside of this routine." Then one day, that job cut her hours. And instead of clinging to it, she took a leap. She'd always loved baking, those melt-in-your-mouth cookies she'd bring to every neighborhood potluck, so I encouraged her to start small. Sell a few batches online. Fast forward a year, and Linda's running a little bakery business from her kitchen. She told me, I was terrified to let go. But losing that job was the push I needed to find myself again. That's what this phase is. Taurus, a push toward your truth. What's going to happen in these first 2 years? Revelations. Big ones. You're going to see things clearly, about yourself, your relationships, your potential. Maybe you'll realize that friendship you've been holding onto out of loyalty hasn't been loyal to you in return. Or that job you've stayed in for the paycheck isn't worth the weight it puts on your spirit. You might even catch a glimpse of a dream you buried long ago, one that's been whispering to you from the corners of your heart. These revelations aren't here to break you, they're here to wake you up. But here's where you might stumble. My dear Taurus, resistance. You're so good at holding on, at keeping things steady, that letting go can feel like losing a part of yourself. I've seen it time and time again with the Taurus women I've counseled. They'll fight tooth and nail to keep the familiar, even when it's dimming their light. I'm here to tell you, don't fight this. When that old foundation starts to crack, don't rush to patch it up. Let it fall, because every ending in this phase is a beginning in disguise. Take Susan, another Taurus soul I met at 43. She was a freelance writer, juggling clients who paid late and demanded too much. She'd tell me, "Sophia, I can't quit, it's steady money." But she was exhausted, and her creativity was fading. One day, a big client dropped her, and she panicked. I sat with her and said, "Susan, what if this is your chance?" She took a deep breath, let go of the scramble, and started pitching projects she actually cared about. Within months, she landed a contract that paid double, and she was writing about gardening. Her true passion, that crumbling foundation, wasn't a loss, it was her liberation. So, my advice for you in these first 2 years? Don't be afraid to release what's not yours anymore. That job you've outgrown? Thank it for what it taught you. Then walk away. That relationship that's more habit than heart? Love yourself enough to set it free. That voice in your head saying, "This is all I deserve." Oh, Taurus, hush it with the truth that you're worthy of so much more. The universe isn't tearing you down, it's clearing your path. This phase might feel unsteady, and I know that's tough for a Taurus heart that craves solid ground. But you're stronger than you realize. You've built homes, careers, families with those capable hands of yours. Now it's time to build something for you. Trust the process. Lean into the unknown, because what's coming next, oh, it's going to light up your world in ways you can't even imagine yet. Chapter 2. The Great Awakening, Years 3 to 4. Oh, Taurus, my beautiful, soulful friends, if the first 2 years were about clearing the ground, then years 3 and 4 are where you start to bloom. This phase, the Great Awakening, is where everything shifts. You're going to look back at the woman you were and hardly recognize her. Not because you've lost yourself, but because you've found yourself in a way you never thought possible. This is your time to rise, to step into a version of you that's bold, intuitive, and so perfectly aligned with your destiny that it'll feel like the stars themselves are cheering you on. Now, I know what you might be thinking, Sophia. I'm a Taurus. I'm practical, grounded, not some airy-fairy dreamer chasing intuition. And you're right, you're the earth sign who plants roots deep and builds things that last. But here's the magic of this phase. The universe is going to wake up that quiet, powerful instinct you've always had simmering beneath the surface. You know that gut feeling you get when something's off, or that little nudge that tells you to take a chance? In years 3 and 4, that inner voice isn't just whispering anymore, it's singing, loud and clear. And when you start listening, Taurus, oh, it's going to change everything. Picture this. By this point, you've let go of what was weighing you down, maybe that job that drained your spirit, or those expectations you carried for too long. Now, the fog clears, and you start seeing. You'll sense opportunities before they even knock on your door. You'll attract the right people, the ones who lift you up, who see your worth, at exactly the right time. It's like the universe is handing you a map, and for the first time, you're not just following it, you're drawing it yourself. This is when your life starts falling into place, piece by beautiful piece. Let me share a story with you. I worked with Janet, a Taurus woman who was 42 when she came to me. She'd been freelancing as a graphic designer for years, taking every gig she could to keep the bills paid. But she was tired, bone-deep tired, and her spark was fading. "Sophia," she'd say, "I don't know how to get out of this rut." Then, in her 3rd year of this journey, something clicked. She'd let go of a toxic client a while back, and instead of scrambling for more work, she paused. She listened. One day, she had this hunch to pitch a project to a small sustainable living magazine, nothing big, just something she loved. That pitch? It turned into a steady contract. Then a whole new network of clients who valued her talent. Janet told me, "I didn't just find work, I found me again." That's your great awakening, Taurus. It's rediscovering your fire and letting it lead you. This phase is where your confidence takes root and grows tall. You've always been strong, but now you're going to feel it in a way you haven't before. Maybe you'll take that leap into a career shift, like starting that Etsy shop you've been dreaming of, or turning your knack for organizing into a side hustle. Maybe it's a financial breakthrough, paying off that debt, or finally saving for that dream trip to Tuscany you've pinned on your vision board. Or maybe it's a relationship, not just romantic, but a friendship or a community that feels like home. Whatever it is, it's going to click because you're finally moving in harmony with who you're meant to be. I think of Maria, another Taurus I counseled at 46. She'd been a stay-at-home mom forever, raising 3 kids with a love so steady it could move mountains. But as her kids grew up, she felt lost. What now? She asked me. In her 4th year of this journey, she started volunteering at a local gardening club, something small, just to get out of the house. But her intuition kicked in. She felt drawn to teach others about growing herbs, something she'd done in her backyard for years. That little step turned into workshops, then a part-time gig at a community center. Maria said to me, "Sophia, I didn't know I had this in me. I feel alive again." That's what's waiting for you, Taurus, a life that lights you up from the inside out. Here's the secret sauce of this phase: your intuition is your superpower now. You've spent years relying on logic, on what's safe and sure, and that's served you well. But in years 3 and 4, trust that inner knowing. It might tell you to say yes to a chance you'd normally brush off, a new project, a conversation with a stranger, a wild idea that keeps you up at night. It might whisper that it's time to set boundaries with someone who's taken too much. Whatever it says, listen, because when you do, you'll start pulling in the people and opportunities that feel like they were made for you. My advice for this awakening? Open your heart to the unexpected. You don't have to leap off cliffs, that's not your style. My practical Taurus, but take small, brave steps toward what feels right. Say yes to that hunch. Reach out to that person who keeps crossing your mind. Start building the life you've always wanted, even if it's just one brick at a time. You don't need to rush, you're Taurus, after all, and you know how to make things last. But start now, because this is when your purpose becomes crystal clear. And don't be surprised if you catch yourself smiling more, standing taller, feeling lighter. This isn't just about what you do, it's about who you're becoming. A woman who knows her worth. A woman who trusts herself. A woman who's ready to take on the world in her own quiet, unstoppable way. So, Taurus, lean into this awakening. The best is yet to come. And trust me, it's going to be worth every moment of the wait. Chapter 3. The Empire Building Years, Years 5 to 7. Taurus, my incredible, unyielding souls, if the first 4 years were about breaking free and waking up, then years 5 through 7 are where you shine. This phase, the Empire Building Years, is your grand finale. The moment you've been preparing for your whole life. Even if you didn't know it, everything accelerates here. The seeds you planted with your steady hands, your quiet courage, your unshakable heart, they're blooming now. And oh, Taurus, the harvest is going to be breathtaking. This is when you step into your power, build something extraordinary, and claim the life you were always destined to live. You've always been a builder, haven't you? Whether it's a home, a family, a business, or just a life that feels safe and warm, you know how to create things that stand the test of time. In these final 3 years, that gift comes into full bloom. Everything you've worked for, every late night, every tough choice, every moment you chose yourself, it all starts paying off. And faster than you ever expected. This isn't just about success in the small ways, though that's coming too. This is about wealth, influence, and power expanding in ways that feel so right for your Taurus soul. Maybe it's your career taking off, that freelance gig turning into a full-fledged business, or that side hustle you started in year 3 now bringing in more than your old day job ever did. Maybe it's leadership, you stepping up to guide others with that calm, steady strength you've always had. Or maybe it's a creative venture, your paintings, your crafts, your recipes finally finding their place in the world. Whatever it is, this is your time to take the throne. You've mastered yourself by now, no more doubting your worth. No more settling for less. You're not just surviving anymore. Taurus, you're thriving. Let me tell you about Sarah, a Taurus woman I met when she was 48. She'd spent years in a safe office job, crunching numbers and dreaming of something more. In her early years of this journey, she'd started small, selling handmade candles on Etsy. Just a hobby to unwind. But by year 5, something shifted. She'd built a little following. And her intuition, that superpower from phase 2, told her to go bigger. She quit that office job, rented a tiny workshop, and poured her heart into her craft. 2 years later, she's got a team of 3. Her candles are in local boutiques. And her income's doubled. Sarah said to me, "Sophia, I never thought I'd be the boss of my own life like this. It feels like I was born for it." That's you in this phase. Taurus, born to rule your own empire. This is when success feels effortless. Not because it's handed to you, but because you've laid the groundwork so well. You're not scrambling anymore, you're soaring. Your wealth might grow, more savings, a bigger paycheck, a home that feels like a sanctuary. Your influence might spread, people turning to you for advice, inspiration, or just that quiet strength you radiate. Your power expands because you've learned to trust yourself completely. You're not chasing anyone else's dream now, you're living yours. And it's as solid and beautiful as anything you've ever built. I think of Ellen, a Taurus at 50, who'd been an inner-city school assistant for decades. In her 5th year, she took a chance on a passion project, tutoring kids in her community on the side. She didn't expect much, but word spread. Parents loved her patience, her way of making every child feel seen. By year 7, she'd turned it into a small after-school program, funded by local grants she never thought she'd win. "Sophia," she told me, "I'm not just teaching, I'm leaving a legacy." That's your empire, Taurus, something that lasts, something that matters. My advice for these empire-building years? Step into it fully. Don't shrink back from the spotlight, you've earned it. Move like the woman you've become, confident, capable, unstoppable. If an opportunity feels big and scary, say yes anyway, you've got the roots to hold you steady. Keep nurturing what you've started, because your Taurus patience and persistence are your secret weapons. And most of all, embody your future self now. Walk like her, think like her, dream like her, because she's not far off. She's already here, waiting for you to catch up. This phase is your reward. Taurus, it's the universe saying, look at what you've done. Look at who you are. You've broken the old, you've awakened the new, and now you're building a legacy that's as enduring as your spirit. So take a deep breath, stand tall, and claim it, because this, my dear, is what you were made for. And there you have it. Taurus, your incredible 7-year journey laid out before you. It starts with breaking the old foundations that no longer serve you, moves into a great awakening where you rediscover your power, and ends with you building an empire that's as unshakable as your heart. This isn't just a prediction, it's a promise from the stars. And I'm so honored to walk this path with you. To every Taurus soul listening, whether you're freelancing through life, running a small business, or holding down the fort at home, you are extraordinary. You're not just surviving these changes, you're the architects of your own destiny. Crafting something so beautiful it'll echo for years to come. You've got that quiet strength, that deep resilience, that magic only a Taurus can bring, and the world is better for it. So tell me, where do you see yourself in this journey? Which Taurus trait are you most proud of? Your loyalty, your patience, your ability to build beauty from the ground up? Drop it in the comments below. I'd love to hear what's lighting up your spirit right now. If you're a Taurus, or if you're here exploring for someone you love who wears this sign, stick with me on Zodiac Wisdom. We're just getting started, my friends. There's so much more to uncover, so many more stories to share. This is our journey together, and I promise you, the best is still ahead. Subscribe, stay connected, and let's keep building this community of starry-eyed dreamers and doers. You are stronger than you know, Taurus, and the universe is rooting for you every step of the way. So go out there, claim your destiny, and shine, because the next 7 years? They're yours to conquer. Let's make them unforgettable.